Here it is. We're in! What's up, guys? Welcome back. Sorry for the delay between games there. It took a while to get this one launched. We have got a 4v4 on Arabia, and, well, let's see who we've got playing. Down to the southwest of the map in teal, we've got Spring playing as the Japanese, and it takes me a while to work out who's actually on each team and who is on the flank. It looks like Spring here is on the flank position, so to his right we've got Tulkas playing as the Chinese in orange. Over to his right, we have Fëanor playing as the Turks in yellow. I think these guys are brothers, the two Irish brothers. I wanted to say twins, that sounded more fitting, but I think just brothers. And up to Fëanor's north is Mitz OS playing as the Teutons in grey. That makes up Team Spring. Over to the sort of west and south areas of the map. The east and south areas of the map. Over to the far west of the map, in purple, we've got Jugband playing as the Goths. Up to his north, in red, we've got Aphrodita playing as the Spanish in red. Up to his north, we've got Nikov playing as the Vikings in green. And over to his right, finally, last but not least, is Max in blue playing as the Persians. We'll call this Team Spring over in the east, and we'll call it Team Nikov over in the west, because Nikov is probably their highest rated player, and I believe Spring is the highest rated player on this team as well. Right, so Spring on the flank position here. He's playing as the Japanese, most likely going to see a Drush from him. Jugband playing as the Goths, so again, most likely to see a Drush from him too. Obviously, Goths and Japanese, great infantry civilizations, very common to see them making a Drush. That's for the south side. Up in the north, well, we've got Teutons versus the Persians. So Drush could certainly be a possibility. I do feel like the Persians overall are going to be a bit of a stronger civilization than the Teutons until the late game, where they're probably going to be fairly even. But we'll keep an eye out in the north whether or not they drush. It's very common to see drushes in 4v4 Arabia, because if you do have a successful drush, you can really slow your opponents down. And if you slow them down enough, then your pocket players are going to be able to absolutely ruffle stomp them in the Castle Age once they get knights out. And we'll have a look at the pocket civs again, just to reacquaint ourselves with that. We've got Fëanor here in yellow, playing as the Turks in pocket, which is, it's a bit meh. Now, obviously, pocket players usually going to be better off if they've got knights, because that you've got the speed of knights, you've got the attack power of knights, and they just make great units for the early Castle Age. They've also got the Chinese in the pocket position for Team Spring, which again is a non-knight civilization. Sort of. You can make knights with the Chinese. We could see that happen, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what he really does go for towards the later stages of the game. Up in the north, well, they have got the Spanish, an awesome, awesome pocket civilization. You know, going to be able to build up a big economy in the pocket position, no problem. And then the Spanish will be able to pump out so many units. They're going to be able to go all the way up to Paladin if they want. They're going to be able to pump out Conquistadors if they get a castle out. And they're going to be in a good position overall. And the Vikings in the pocket position for Nikov here. Vikings are again going to have a really nice economy with the handcart and wheelbarrow absolutely free. So Nikov going to be able to have a great economy here, but not so great on land maps. The Vikings, of course, really only come into their own on the water, but decent infantry and archers as well. So we will see them most likely go for crossbows in the Castle Age, and maybe from there into Arbalest with a little bit of siege perhaps. They could easily add some siege in, but against a Teuton flank position, if they start pumping out the heavy siege, that could be nasty. We'll put it that way. So Barracks out for Max here. He's going to make a drush, but nothing in the way of drushing for Mitz at the moment. So that's looking good for him, but he's trying to lame this villager here, trying to slow this boar lure from happening. It doesn't look like he's going to actually have, or be able to do it, but trying to just be awkward, trying to be as lame as possible, trying to block this boar enough so that it runs back, but Max is not having any of it, should be able to get that boar in absolutely fine, and if Max can do the damage with the drush, then it'll be quite good for him. Spring is drushing as well. We had the barracks go up there, and there's no drush from Jugband, which is interesting because he's playing as the Goths. You think perhaps, hey, Goths might make some militia. It might be a good idea, but seems like Jugband doesn't go that way. And indeed, Spring going to bring in these 3 militia now. Could hit these berries, could hit the wood, may get a pick. But these villagers out here on the left side gathering that deer, that is where it's a little bit dangerous for him. Let's actually check Jugband now and see if he knows that there is a barracks up. He has no idea. So he will have an idea in a second as the militia come in. But look at that gold position for him. He's taking the gold all the way back here.
Yes.
And these villagers may be toast very shortly as Spring brings those militia in. So that's going to be very nice for him. It's so hard to see what's going on all over the map though. The drush from Max so far not being very effective. Mitz getting a very easy wall off here on this side and on the bottom as well. Really nice for him. It looks like Spring may pick off a villager here. So close indeed. But either way, he's disrupting Jugband's economy, and that's the main focus of the drush anyway. Max Xing where player 7 is. And Mitz, I think, probably going up to feudal now, as we'll see other players starting to hit feudal in just a second as well. Barracks going up for Mitz at the moment also. And Spring just trying to do the damage with the drush at the moment. Unable to really get a good wall off at home by the looks of it. Walling off this front side, but very open at the back. Mitz now is up to feudal. Going to be able to get that stable up in a second. And seems to me like Max is just going to try and move down here to Fëanor's base, who's in the pocket position. And obviously for the pocket player, up against the drush, it's not nice. They are up to the feudal age though, but they need to deal with this drush before it does any damage to their economy, if they can. So, players getting up to feudal at the moment. Jugband is now up as well. Archery range going to go down from him, and that's perfectly viable for the Goths. We'll be able to take out these militia quite easily. And Spring, interestingly enough, not going to the pocket player here at all. Whereas Max being a little bit of a nuisance at the moment. Getting these militia in here and doing quite a bit of damage to both the scout cavalry and to the other scout cavalry of Mitz. What's Mitz doing? Well, he's actually going for scouts here. It does make sense as Teutons, actually, because they will be most likely going for knights in the Castle Age. And, of course, scouts lead into that quite nicely in the Feudal Age. Great micro from Max here, though, keeping that scout cavalry alive for quite some time as it finally gets taken down by that spear there. And everyone now up to the Feudal Age. Obviously, the pocket player is going to be fast castling. Aphrodite getting up that market blacksmith. Same could be said for Nikov, only he's going for blacksmith and stable. He's playing as the Vikings, so he can go actually for knights. I don't know why I said, oh, he should go archers. No, he's actually probably going to go knights. It makes a lot more sense. They actually have reasonable knights anyway in the Castle Age. Obviously, no longevity there, but should be able to do some decent raiding. Spring now under a little bit of pressure though. He's only just up to the Feudal Age and his archery range seems to be denied or delayed. And no army compared to Jugband at this moment in time. So Spring looking a little bit caught off here. Needs to bring his units in and do some damage. Or at least protect his economy. Looks like he's going to lose a villager. And that is so close, that villager is dead. Archery range desperately trying to get that one up, but Jugband doing a great job here at the moment of just delaying it and denying it as much as he can. Managing to even pick off that scout there as well. And Jugband going to go back. Interesting as to why he went back. He's up against militia, he could just out-micro them. Archers are going to be, if they're microed well, able to take out militia no problem at all. 2 archery ranges up for Spring though, and he is in a pretty defensive position at the moment, so that is not good for him. Mitz looks like he's about to get a raid in over at Max's base. looking to take villages out where he can, but under the town, well, under the fire of this tower here, not so good at all. Taking quite a bit of damage on those scouts there for not a whole lot, just picking one villager. And that tower placement from Max was actually really nice. It's in a great position, to be honest with you, in a very good position indeed. So Jugband, current top scorer of the game at the moment, he is doing quite a bit of damage to Spring by the looks of it, and also trying to wall off where he can as well. He is playing as the Goths, so we're going to be really into the infantry units later on as well. Really crucial that he starts getting a lot of Huskars out if he can, especially against, well, not especially against the Japanese. It really depends what the Japanese goes for here. Like, the Japanese can make samurai, and of course they can make champions, so they're going to be great counters to Huskars. But the Goths can just out-flood them if they flood champions in as well. So it depends. If Spring does go for a lot of archers, then Huskar is going to be great. But otherwise, it's going to be pretty tough for the Goth player. Regardless of that, though, Tulkas now coming in with some knights. The pocket players are reaching the castle age, and we've got knights from Nikov now over at Max's base, who is also castle as well. So the Persian player here on the flank going straight up to the castle age in a good time. Looks like Team Nikov is going to be in a great position. Going to be in a really nice position. Mitz just walling up like crazy, trying to defend. He's still feudal, and he has knights from 2 enemy players heading towards his base. Back up at the moment, coming from Fëanor, though. He is adding in some knights of his own, but they are only Turkish knights, so obviously Persian's going to be able to be better off there. And there's not very much of them. It's very much a 2v1 situation over in that area. Just like Jugband and Aphrodita managing to keep control of this front area for now. Aphrodita is castle, but they are just going pure eco at the moment. They are playing as the Spanish, so they do have the potential to spam a lot of knights, but you usually see the Spanish players going 4, maybe 5 TCs, and it certainly does help. Everyone's still starting to get up to the castle age now. There's no one who's still feudal who isn't actually doing the castle age upgrade, but it's looking really bad for Mitz over here. Mitz is looking very down at the moment with 2v1 knights over here. It's very horrible for him to deal with. Obviously Fëanor trying to help out as best he can with some knights of his own, but when you're really this outnumbered, it is very difficult and very hard to do. Nikov just trying to spam those knights out where he can, now switching to the 3rd TC. And the thing here is that Aphrodita is putting up that castle. We're going to see Conquistadors coming in, and that is going to be so difficult to defend against. They're such a great raiding unit, and against a Spanish who's been untouched, oh, it's not so nice. Not so nice at all. Tulkas getting up a monastery now. Looks like he's going to get some monks out to defend, but really, looks like Mitz struggling a lot here. He's only got 28 villagers at the moment, and obviously Spanish player with a good 54. That's a huge 53. That's a huge difference in villager count. A huge difference, and he's just trying to defend as best he can. Blue on the wrong side of the wall here. Nikov getting cornered and taken down, but upgrades are nil for all of them by looks of it. Because obviously those upgrades are quite expensive, and they just kind of want to get their ecos in good shape. You cannot afford to let that slip in this kind of game. So it looks like Tulkas really carrying the team, Team Spring at the moment. Spring has got his crossbow upgrade though, and well, that's more than Jugband has at the moment, even though he is castle age. So crossbow from Jugband coming in fairly soon, I think.
Yes.
But this engagement could go pretty bad for them, and Team Spring could push this one right back. There's crossbow from Jugband. So these knights are going to get focused down pretty quickly, especially if they're up against it on a hill. And now the Conquistadors from Aphrodita starting to march their way over to Jugband's base. It's worth the little wait for that. It's worth the wait. Fëanor though, looks like he's got a good mass of knights here actually. And Mitz just getting safe at long last. He has got his 3 TCs up. He's safe for now. But he is lacking a lot of units. And I thought for a minute Fëanor might have enough units here to push this back. But it actually turns out, nope. There's a lot of knights there from Max. And he has now got bloodlines as well, which is going to make it very difficult for Fëanor to fight it. And they're going to have to stay defensive over on this right-hand side. Pretty defensive looking on the left-hand side as well. Team Nikov is doing pretty damn good, and Tulkas's army management, army control looking pretty nasty there as well, losing a couple of knights for absolutely nothing. And these guys just trying to hang on to their hill. Conquistadors, though, packing a whole lot of punch with 16 attack damage. And, of course, Aphrodite just adding in that 5th TC now. Pretty nice play by him. And continuing with that Conquistador production. Raiding like crazy into Mitz's base. And this is not nice. The Teuton player going to want to have a strong Castle Age here. And especially a strong Imperial Age. But in the flank position, when it's been 2v1 for quite some time, it's very difficult to really get up and running when you've got so many knights in your base. Spring trying to get forwards there, and I'm going to be interested to see how this battle goes. Of course, if these guys cling to the hill, then they will probably come out on top. Conquistadors, as I say, packing a whole lot of punch, and with 2 defense as well, they're very, very strong indeed. So they just need to chill here and let these guys push into them and just take the advantage in economy, which is clearly starting to go in favour of Aphrodite now. Just look at his score, starting to get very far ahead indeed. Tulkas is up on 3 TCs. Obviously Chinese pocket position here. Could switch to camels, but it's really not worth it at the moment because they're up against conquistadors and crossbowmen. But for Tulkas now, knights, he can't invest too heavily in them. He is only a Chinese player here. He has got bloodlines and +2 defense, which is great. But obviously with no paladin upgrade, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's fine for now, but it's not really a long-term plan. He will want to switch into, I forget the word, not Conquistadors, Chuko Nu, if he gets the opportunity. These knights getting absolutely flattened, both of them not going in at the same time, which is really nasty. And now, we've got Nikov here, the Viking player, slinging Aphrodite, who's going up to the Imperial Age. And that is huge. Mangonel shot from Spring, though, could do a bit of damage, but it missed for now. And I've got to say, this is really not looking good for Team Spring at the moment. Mitz is really, really down at the moment. And, well, with the Viking player slinging the Spanish player, who is going to go Paladins and Conquistadors, it's going to be so difficult for Spring to defend back here. These guys pushing forwards, though, did a great job on this left flank. Really, really good job there indeed. Push Jugband right back. And they've got a pretty menacing army there, to be honest with you. But is it going to stand up to what Aphrodite is about to bring out? Well, it's a risky strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Because they don't have a whole lot of defense at the moment. Fëanor with these knights here looking to get some raiding done. With no defense over at Jugband's base, looking pretty nasty over there as well. And I think Aphrodite here really, really has to get that production going. But he will do. He will do. This amount of stables on the front there, that's 6, 7, 8 stables on the front. Going to be doing so much damage once he gets up to the Imperial Age. They just need to hold out until then. Nikov, no army to speak of at all. He's slinging, remember. No army. Only +1 attack. These knights gonna do damage. They have got bloodlines. They have got +2 defense. And Max gonna try and help out. There's Aphrodite's Imperial Age. Cavalier upgrade gonna come straight in. And how far is Tulkas from the Imperial Age? Well, a long way at this moment in time. He's got no food whatsoever, really. But Jugband losing a lot here, putting up a castle in defense. That's going to be enough for now. And of course now Aphrodite, with this many stables, Oh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I don't know who he's going to deal with first, though. Looks like he's heading over here to help out against Fëanor, perhaps. Maybe he's going to go raid their economy and bring them back that way. It looks like Max should be able to deal with the Knights from Fëanor here. He should be able to deal with that. He's lacking one of the upgrades on defense, but it should be enough for him. And it looks like Aphrodite instead just going to head straight for the underbelly of Team Spring here and do the damage where he can. And obviously now Aphrodite's population is just going to start booming like crazy. He's on, well, he's got a lot of food, a lot of gold, and so many cavaliers on the way out. It's pretty nasty, but Red really needs to help out the Goth player here. But now, of course, Aphrodite looking to get into the economies of these guys, doing damage where he can. Fëanor, where is Fëanor? Is he Imperial? Yes, he's going Imperial. We've got Torkas going Imperial as well, but the problem is the pocket players are so almost like far behind in terms of speed that Aphrodite is going to do a lot of damage to their economy. But Fëanor now getting in here with these camels, with these knights, looking to do the damage to Nikov if he can, looking to do the damage to Aphrodite as well. A lot of camels there, going to be great for Fëanor to basically counter with. Aphrodite, I just want to check real quick. His stables. Paladin upgrade is on the way. Just remember that. These Cavalier will become Paladin very shortly. And they are raiding Torkas' eco like crazy. They are raiding Spring's eco like crazy. And as long as they can defend against these camels and knights, if they can defend against that, then they're toast. They really are. There is so little you can do when there's Paladins just stomping over your economy with full upgrades. It's nasty. Nikov's still slinging like crazy, yes. And it's working out pretty damn well. Aphrodite still has so much resource. He's just now pumping out Paladins, and he's lacking the attack upgrades, but the defense upgrades are there. And that's it. Pala at 35 minutes. It's very, very nice indeed. And I think that's pretty much it for Team Spring now. Torkas is looking very down and out over here. His economy's just been absolutely wrecked. And a lot more wreckage about to happen. We've got Fëanor pumping out camels though. They are really stepping on the gas with the camel production here. Jugband's pushing back against Spring though. And with so many Paladins out on the map now, it's looking very difficult. Spring saying GG perhaps. I think it is. There's no way they're going to counter these Paladins now, and that was just a very, very good sling. A very good strategy by Aphrodite's team. Spring has just got nothing left. There's a lot of, a hell of a lot of knights over here for Mitz. But I'm not sure if Mitz is still castle. Yeah, he's still castle. It's a shame he's taking so long to get Imperial. But, yeah, just the Viking sling, it's so powerful. We see Tyrant using that a lot in Nomad games. It is very difficult to fight against.
No.
Because it just gives them such an advantage if they can get the resources in quickly. Spring has resigned. It's now 3v4 situation. Torkas and Fëanor probably going to follow suit very, very shortly as well. Though Torkas, Chinese player, does have Cavalier out and quite a few heavy camels as well. Has he got enough? I mean, there's heavy camel out for Fëanor also, but there's just too many Paladins there. +4 attack, +4 defense. And I really don't see how these guys are going to bring it back. The stream ended, so I'm guessing it either dropped or they just resigned and quit. But either way, good sling by Nikov. Aphrodite there just showing the power of the Spanish if they get that Paladin upgrade and do some Conquistador raiding as well. Really, really, really strong. But thanks everyone for watching anyway. I'm going to stop streaming now.